Samuel, JT, Twin Bro, Maverick, Vladimir. So many people out there in the room. I can't call you all out. All right, and you're already submitting song suggestions for me. You know, it's a party Friday. People are already getting some ideas in there. That's fantastic. All right, well, it's good to be here with you. Let's get things going for a lovely Friday morning. We're just getting some Steppenwolf. Now we're talking. All right. I love it how you guys have got song suggestions in addition to our stock trades. Let's focus on the markets, though, for this morning. And I see Norm has joined. Good morning, Norm.
Hey, good morning, Peter. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late.
That's quite all right. I'm just getting going myself. I understand it's a very special day.
I don't know why it is. It's just another day, man.
Just another day. All right.
I think I know where you're going, but thank you very much.
I'll leave it up to you whether we talk about it or not. All right.
You're welcome. You're welcome to say it.
Well,
I
then,
appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Then to everyone out there, it is Norm's birthday today, so let's all wish him a good happy birthday. He's another year younger,
Thank you very much, guys.
Another year wiser.
Another year grumpier.
There you go. All right, so said it is Friday, guys. The show has been running well, but a little late. I don't have the quickness down that Carlos normally has. So let's get into what we were seeing yesterday. And we've got a few gappers already today we can take a look at. Here's the gappers list. So make sure you guys can see that. But yesterday was another interesting day. We had some good movers out there and some good stocks to trade. Let me start with Walmart, just because it was a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting much out of Walmart, and they actually had some good earnings, raised their guidance. But look, remember I talked about on Wednesday, if you were here with us, you have to be careful not to have a predisposed mindset as to what's going to happen. Understand the news, have a perspective as to what may occur, but if it doesn't, make sure you're listening to the technicals. And look, Walmart provided a great opportunity for a short play. It was really clear right out of the gates that it just started to decline. I saw a fantastic trade on Walmart at specifically the price was $123.70. I know that because I took a quick trade, got stopped out on a really quick pullback right about here, and it's a no FOMO November, so I'll stick to that. But what a lost opportunity to get a $3 trade on Walmart. It sort of bounced around for the rest of the day, but this open play was a great trade down on Walmart. So some good opportunity there. What else did we trade yesterday? Disney was another mover, moved again yesterday. A little choppier than it was the day before, but there were some good opportunities. You could see Disney was giving back some of those big gains that it had. To me, it was choppy at the open, but sort of mid-morning had some good opportunity in it. What else were we playing? QGen. Do I have it here in the list? I don't think it was even something that I was watching out of the gate, so let's just throw it on here and we'll take a quick look at it. QGen was another one from yesterday that had a sort of good rise mid-morning, a good opportunity on that I know some of the members in the room played. And I know one we were watching was Cisco. Now, if you remember, I mentioned a pre-market show yesterday that I don't always like the way Cisco plays. That being said, I even took a couple of trades on it. It had a good opportunity for the pull down. The open, though, was a little tough. I will say that if you really sort of go in here, it was pretty choppy in here, so it was hard to take an entry and stick to it. You really had to, sort of be strict on your rules. But once you sort of got the move, you could have hung on and had a good trade. But it was tough in the opening 10 minutes of the day yesterday. Norm, what did you trade at the open yesterday?
I didn't have the best day. I traded a little bit of Walmart. It was choppy back and forth before it started making that move. That was primarily it. Then we watched, what was the other one later in the day? Sorry, I had kind of a hectic afternoon yesterday.
Roku. I know Roku was moving yesterday afternoon.
Yep, Roku, we had our eye on, and then I was really
Oh my
interested in
God.
what was going on with earning. There was something else. God, I can't. I'm losing my mind.
I don't remember either. Yeah.
Um,
What the heck were?
there was. I mean, yeah. Anyway,
Whatever it was. All right. Well, see, you
yeah.
guys, the past is the past. We'll focus on today. Was it
Bebo
WB?
was one of them. Yeah, WB was one of them. It put in a nice ascending triangle with breakout, and the breakout didn't last too long, but it was a nice one. Um, right there about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I see that right here in this time frame. But yeah, you're right. There was something else yesterday afternoon. For the life of me, I can't remember what it was either. So doesn't matter at this point. It said we'll take a look at what's happening for today. We've got a couple of things on the list, and we'll take a look and see what we've got for today. So let's clear this up, and we'll start at the top and work our way down. Before we do that, Norm, do you have a perspective on the overall markets and what's happening there?
Yeah, I mean, SPY's up just over a quarter of a percent this morning. Europe is predominantly up. The FTSE in the UK is a little bit weak, but it has diverged from the other European markets often recently just because of the Brexit stuff. And then Asia closed up as well. Bonds are up a little bit. Gold and the safety trade is down a little bit. So overall, I think we're just hinging on this trade stuff, and there come every 20 minutes, it feels like a different, thought or tweet or something comes out of it. So it could change by the time the market opens.
Indeed, yeah. I said nothing huge that I see moving either. So just one of those days. We'll see what the markets bring. All right, so let's take a look at the stocks that are moving so far this morning. We'll start with FTCH, Farfetch. Okay, what a name for a company. Farfetch Limited. I know this is a luxury retailer, and we've been seeing a lot of good results from retailers. I assume this is earnings that's driving this up as well?
Yeah, they had a narrower loss than expected, so they are popping quite well, up 25.5% this morning.
The pre-market action does not look good at all, though.
Yeah, I mean it's a stock out of the UK. Often they don't trade well, so you gotta keep that in mind if you're looking at it.
Yeah, so I see it, and even if I look at the daily chart, guys, this does not have a great daily. It used to be a $25 stock, had this big drop back in August, and then it's more or less just sort of trundled along here in a range. It's at the top of the range with this 25% increase, but it's going to take a lot for it to break out. So we'll keep it here in the list. We'll see if it gets any better, but so far not so exciting. Now, some stuff that I know we have traded in the past. Applied Materials. I know this is again an earnings play here.
Absolutely, they reported last night. We've talked about the semiconductor cycle recently. Last year, these got hammered. The semiconductors just got annihilated last year. A lot of them losing over half their value. Since then, this year, they've actually come back. Many of them, including AMAT, have been in pretty good runners this year. And their call last night, they beat estimates, beat revenues, and they kind of feel like they've hit a trough and things will be improving from here on out for the time being at least.
Yeah, and I saw a ton of upgrades on Applied Materials, so it seems like the analysts, anyways, are pretty excited.
The analyst.
Whoop. Did I just lose Norm, or did everybody lose him?
Hello?
There you go. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, the analysts have started marching back in, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Applied Materials looks good. Pre-market is not fantastic, but it's not bad, and it Applied Materials, it's only on the sort of the days where there's big news where you can really trade it. So hopefully today will be one of those days. Now, AMRN, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with AMRN today because it was actually halted all day yesterday. Very rare that you see a stock, especially a large company like this, that was halted throughout an entire trading day. But after hours yesterday, I thought I saw some news, but I didn't actually see the details. Did you happen to catch what happened?
It's the same thing that's been popping at the last few days. It's really caused this rally. I guess, what did it start? Wednesday? When we traded it on Wednesday when it started this breakout. It's just this FDA panel has voted unanimously to recommend the drug Vascepa for different purposes. So that has been what's giving some fuel to this fire and why it had a T12 yesterday.
Okay. So we'll see. Interestingly, pre-market, it's not running up like gangbusters on that approval, frankly. It had this dip and then it came back up and it's just sort of been going flat. So AMRN is a weird one often to trade. So I said I'm hoping that we're going to have good stuff out of it today, but we will see. We will see. All right.
Keep in mind that the part of the play on this, for some reason, Trade Ideas doesn't have short interest listed on this stock, but like FinViz has it at 35%. So part of this is a longer-term short squeeze playing out.
Okay, that's a good note. So, all right. JD, so one of Norm's least favorite sectors with the Chinese stocks, but it seems to be up this morning, about 4%. Big volume, though, 1.7 million shares traded so far this morning. Again, another earnings item, I believe, Norm.
It is an earnings item, and much like you described it, cheap Chinese junk stocks are... which they all move strangely to me. And there's so many, I'm not saying JD is, and I know Baidu and Bob are a different story than 99% of them. But yeah, they had earnings. I know that they had pretty much blowout earnings. And they revised estimates for the current quarter as well. So
JD is one that I feel that you can only trade on these momentum days because look, I mean, just right prior to this, look at these terrible daily candles, right? You can see sort of it goes into this range where it doesn't move much at all, and then it's got these breakout days where you can actually trade it. So today looks like maybe one of those days. So I'll keep it on the list. We may have some opportunity with JD today. Moving down the list, we have OXY. I know I have looked at this in the past. I don't remember ever trading it, though. Occidental Petroleum up, not a lot, 2.8%, and not a lot of volume, only 125,000 shares. Pre-market doesn't look that good.
This one's tough to trade. There was some news, what was it, Peter, 6 months ago with the acquisition. There was Oxy. There were 3 stocks all trying to figure out how to merge. One was going to buy another one out. This was one of them. And it's kind of moving on that news. There's some lawsuits and such, and Buffett's involved in getting into, I believe it's Oxy is the one he's in. So it can be a little tough to trade. These commodity-based stocks, since this is an oil company, often trade with the underlying commodity and don't give the smoothest moves of anything else. So it's also NYSE, which is another strike against it.
Yeah, as you mentioned,
it was Darko. That's right.
Yeah, and the news this morning, the old, what used to be called Restoration Hardware, I think it's now just RH.com, that Buffett was making, or Berkshire Hathaway was making an investment in both of those, Occidental Petroleum and RH. RH doesn't really have any volume so far. It's still under the 100,000 mark, but if it gets over that in the next few minutes, it may come on the list. But both of those seem to be in the same news article. No big moves on either one, so we'll keep them here, but may not be something that we take a hard look at. Roku, well, it's been a consistent mover for us. Look at this. We got sort of 5 days in a row where it's been steadily climbing. Every time you think it's about to go down, I short traded Roku yesterday, got a dollar move, but on a day where it was unquestionably in an upward trend. And it looks like so far this morning, where yesterday it had trouble breaking through the $150 mark, this morning pre-market it handily broke through, and it's now up. Looks like it peaked at just under 153. I assume this is just continued momentum, Norm, and there's no specific news on Roku?
I have not seen anything specific to Roku this morning, no. I mean, just little stories here and there. I think mostly it's momentum.
Yeah, okay. Well, as a momentum play, Roku can be good. It's a tough one. You have to have big spreads generally on Roku because it can move. Like even yesterday when it was in that uptrend, it would make these $50 like just moves in a single 20 seconds, and it was a little tough, I found at times, but there were trades in it if you had the right stops. All right, heading into those that are down so far this morning. Gappers down. PRPL. Is this company called Purple? What is it? Yeah, Purple Innovation. Okay. I've never heard of this. Pre-market is ugly. So far it's not exciting me. The daily chart is not that pretty. I don't know. Is there some fantastic news on Purple, Norm?
They've got a secondary offering coming. That's what's hitting them. This is a mattress company. They got into the market to compete with Casper. Bed in a box.
Oh.
Low float, fairly recent IPO. I don't know how long it's been out, but I mean, a year or so maybe. So it's got what's the float on Purple? I don't have it on mine because the ATR isn't popping it on my scanner, I guess. But Finviz has it at
Look at
8.9 million.
Right. Look at the weird daily chart. So it has history going back to 2015. For the first 2 years, though, it did absolutely nothing. Then something happened, right? And suddenly it exploded into a stock that moves. So interesting. But it still doesn't look that great for our trading today. But I'll leave it here. The last one, LN. I know that this one has come on our list several times. I have never traded it, and because look at this. Look at this daily action. Like absolutely nothing going on. I see in the last 3 days, it seems to have had a little bit of motion. But even pre-market here. Ooh.
It's only block trades.
Oh, that's a block trade. All right. So look, that just validates for me, guys. LN, not even worth looking at. It's just not a big mover. All right, so let's take a look at what maybe on our active and gappers. AMRN we already looked at. AIHS. Well, that looks good. Actually, the pre-market activity looks great on AIHS. The daily tells me it's not a regular mover, but this is a dollar stock. So, and I assume it's, it is a fairly low float. I'm seeing about 10 million shares on it, but a big 2.8 million shares traded so far. I know I'm making you scramble there, Norm. Any news on AIHS?
No, I don't research penny stocks.
Fair enough. I'm not sure if anybody would be interested in trading this, guys. I mean, it's look. I'll put it here just so I can set levels if we have anybody in our that plays low floats that want to take a look at it. But as Norm says, I wouldn't normally look at this either. But that's good volume, and the pre-market looks actually pretty good. So we'll leave it there. JD, we already looked at. Torque, T-O-R-C, 1.5 million shares traded. Again, another...
This was on a halt earlier, I noticed.
Wow, down 76%. Now it's a penny stock. It was trading at $8 at the close yesterday. It's now down to under $2. So it's obviously got some terrible news on it. This pattern oddly looks like a buyout because look, it's completely flat. And even if I take out that drop, the chart it doesn't look that great despite all this volume coming through it. I wonder what the heck is going on with that. That's a weird one. I don't even know.
It's a biotech with a failed drug trial.
Failed drug. Okay, there you go. Well, that's usually what can drive that. So, F-Cell's on the list again, but as always, we will continue to ignore it. Again, that doesn't look like a good trader. YTEN, 15-cent stock, not interested. and AMD. AMD actually, I can't believe I was watching it yesterday, but I was, and I was hoping for it to make a big move down. As you can see, in the afternoon yesterday, it didn't really. It just chopped around. I was looking right around here for a nice big drop. It dropped 20 cents, and that's about all you got out of it. But with the news, with AMD having earnings, with Nvidia having earnings, it may drive some of the other stocks in sympathy, like Intel, AMD, and Micron, MU. All right, so what haven't we looked at here? We've already looked at that. DGII. DGII, nope, that's just a block trade, it looks like, so far this morning. PHUN, terrible. BCRX, nope. And the last one I'll look at, no, that's even worse. All right. TNXP, just going on the losers, the big losers for the morning. Torque is at the top of the list. TNXP doesn't look that great. AGRX, these are all, we got a lot of these $1, $2 stocks that are moving recently, but again, not exciting things to trade. Okay, I don't really see anything on that list that I want to jump into. So, from the room, and Norm, from you, anything you guys want us to look at?
One of my favorites.
Sorry, I was talking over you.
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA. Oh, of course.
It's my birthday. We get to trade NVIDIA. I couldn't be happier.
How did I not mention NVIDIA? I think I just mentioned it, but yes, you're right. It wasn't even on the list. I took for granted that it would be there.
It's relatively flat. It was up. It was down after earnings yesterday. It moved from, I think, $202, 218 was the range. So it had quite the range yesterday. Daily, I'm interested in seeing what's happening, especially with the catalyst of earnings. You can see we've got this period of consolidation for 2 weeks. And it feels like it's coiled to pop to me. It could always, if it fails, it could break down, but it just, I'm waiting to see which way it goes. And as of now, it looks like it's going to break up from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm really surprised it's pretty much right at break even with yesterday's close, so it hasn't had a big move. But guys, we should always be listening to Norm's take on NVIDIA. He has traded extremely successfully over the last, year and a half, 2 years, so it's worth paying attention to that. So we'll see what happens. It does look like it's sort of ready to break up. They beat earnings. I thought they lowered their guidance a little bit, so that's probably what's keeping it uncertain, but we will see. We will see. All right, so NVIDIA's on the list. What else you guys are talking about? RH, I know some of our members are talking about. I did mention that. That's sort of in that investment bucket for Berkshire Hathaway with Occidental Petroleum, OXY. So we'll see if it gets some better motion because it wasn't looking very good. How about Grub? People are mentioning Grubhub. Sounds like a fake company name to me every time I say it, but Grubhub. It's like there was a TV show that had Chum Hum or something like that. I always think of that. Anyways, Grubhub, not terrible pre-market activity. Wow, look at that big gap. Yeah, it is at the top of the range where, just looking at the daily chart, it's possible that it may look for a gap fill if it gets significant volume and momentum. But at this point, I'm not seeing any particular indication that it's going to do that, nor am I aware of any news catalyst. So while technically it looks poised for that, again, you need a catalyst, you need something, right? And that could just be a big buyer to push it, but something's got to get it to start filling that gap. So, all right, and what else? The last thing I've got here, Jcpenney, really. One of our members is saying that there's possible short squeeze on Jcpenney. Let's see here. I know it's been pummeled over the last couple of years. It's in penny stock territory. I don't like it. So I don't think that's something.
Nobody else does. That's why it's $1. I don't know how this company is still in business.
Yeah. Well, I guess somehow some of their stores are still surviving out there. All right. So with that, guys, why don't we get to some announcements for this morning? And we've got some exciting stuff coming up. especially with a ton of our members going to meet face to face, but I'll let Norm talk to you about that.
Yeah, guys. So the Trade Ideas test drive, I'll keep reminding you, if you want to take advantage of that, you can get 10 days of Trade Ideas for $8.99. We're about a week into that, so I'm not 100% sure on if they reduce that, if you only get 5 days. In the past, it was only 5 days for $8.99, still a hell of a deal. So give it a shot if you would like to check out Trade Ideas and try to create some of your own scanners, which in the same vein, we've got the new scanner contest going on. Use Trade Ideas, whether you have a subscription or you use the test drive. Month of November, you can create scanners to add to our group of scanners we use to the room. Post it in the forums. Community will vote on which one is the best. And you can win. Andrew pretty much said you can win either an iPhone 11 Pro or iPad of your choosing. So good luck there, and we hope we can also use your scanners and you can get some proud points on that one and having them up in the room. Number one best trader competition with DAS, currently ongoing. Check out the leaderboard the last time around. The winner that traded stocks was a BBT member, so very proud of that and look forward to how this current competition goes. As Peter mentioned, tomorrow is the Clearwater Beach, Florida meetup. It sounds like it's going to be a heck of a party. A lot of people have signed up. You're going to have Andrew, Ryan, Thor will be there. Then you're going to have Ed Martin from Average Joe Trading. Just a lot of fun. So guys, enjoy it. Sorry I can't be there, but I hope you have a great time. Many times it's been requested in the past, and we've been unable to do it. But we finally decided and put in place the ability to do lifetime memberships in 12 installments instead of having to pay the one lump sum all at the same time. So that is now an option when you check out to do lifetime in 12 installments. You get full lifetime access from the start, and then after the 12 installments, you're not billed anymore, and you have access to lifetime, for lifetime as it describes. There is a discount on the one-time payment lifetime of 35% off. You can use the promo code premarket LT35. Then next Tuesday, we're going to have Robert Green with Green Trader Tax in the room to answer all trader tax related questions. This guy is the number one best known tax guy for traders that I know of. He writes for Forbes. He does interactive brokers webinars along with other webinars and stuff. So I highly recommend, especially if you are new to trading, to check that out. It's vitally important to get up to speed on trading taxes before December. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, you'd like to try out the chat room, you can do so for a discount. Use the promo code premarket24. It's 1 week in the chat room, does not auto-renew, does not turn into a different kind of membership. And also just remind you, if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, you will be notified whenever we go live with the pre-market show, trade reviews, or other new content.
It's great. And of course, we can't forget perhaps our most important announcement. As we mentioned earlier, it is Norm's birthday. So happy birthday to Norm.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Glad to have him here trading with us on his birthday. He chooses to spend some of his day with us. That's fantastic. All right. All that being done, let's get to setting some levels. Go back through the list. Let me first just see if anything's jumping on. Look at this. Grubhub happens to have jumped up on the list. So there you go. All right. What else? SLS is the only... Oh, and there's one here. CNP. All right. Let's take just a quick peek at these ones that are jumping up here. Cellus Life Sciences. Well, this just came from... penny stock territory just a few days ago. Look at this. This stock was trading at 17 cents. All right. You absolutely have to keep in mind that a mere week ago, this thing was 17 cents. It is now trading at $6. I don't know what the heck is going on. They must have cured cancer or something. but they're down 3% today. Look, guys, I don't know that I would trade this at all, but interesting that it jumped on our list. What's the other one that's up here? CNP, Centerpoint Energy. Not a great pre-market. It's only down 2.6%, just over 100,000 shares. Yeah, it's not so exciting. Oh, and Samuel's here. Thank you, Samuel, for posting that. Oh, it's a reverse split. Okay, all right. So it actually hasn't. So they haven't cured cancer. They just reverse split their stock 50 for 1. So, all right. So they're artificially up here on the list. So. Okay, good. That's good to know. All right, so let's go through some levels. I will focus on the daily chart to set our levels off of what we see here on the daily. FTCH is our big gainer so far this morning. Definitely a level up here, just over 10 at $10.32. I'm putting a level. Obviously, I've got the pre-market high, which looks good, and the pre-market low. Actually, look at... I love it when the pre-market often mirrors some of these daily levels, and you can see that clearly here where this pattern sort of rounded to the bottom. That happens to be the pre-market low right here at $8.91. So no coincidence. That happens almost every single day. If this thing really goes on a run, there is a big gap fill that you can see here when I back up. So at the beginning of, right at the end of July, beginning of August, FTCH had a big drop. It set a gap with the peak here being at $12.42. So I will just I'll put a level right there, $12.42. And if it does get up here, you notice I already must have looked at this in the past. I already had it marked at the top of this gap at $16.92. I don't know that this thing is going to go up. Well, who knows, right? I mean, I was going to say, I'm not sure it's going to go up another $6, $7, but crazier things have happened. So we've got our levels if it does. Applied Materials, it's running at a high for the year, but not an all-time high. So let's take a look here. We've got a high here at 62.40. I can see off of this candle, so I will just set a level right here at 62.40. And let me see. What is the all-time high on this? Applied Materials. Is this it? Wow, look at that. That's a really big spike happened in the last couple of years. Looks like we're in all-time high territory. So it has a chance to get to all-time high. It's only $2 away, and it's within reach. So we'll see. Applied Materials puts in a big push. It could get up there. I have all these previous day high and low marked, as I always do. You can see the red dotted lines on my charts. So that's probably enough levels for Applied Materials. AMRN, well, it's trading within these ranges. So again, previous day highs and lows, you can see these all over my chart. So that gives me some good levels. I'd previously marked $20, 2003 here. I will leave that in. And I can see that I'd previously marked the high where this peaked here at 23.88. Again, I will leave that. And that's probably it for levels on AMRN. We'll see what happens with it today. This could be a great stock in play, or it could be a dud. My vote is probably on dud, actually, but when you never know, that's why I'll keep it on the list. All right, JD. I can see that I was looking at JD when it was in this, in this place where it was just chopping up and down. It's now moved up to the top side of that chop. So we said, don't always like the way some of these Chinese stocks trade. JD tends to be a slow mover, but when it does move, you can actually get great trending moves. So in addition to what's here, I'm going to mark just this consolidation high right here at 36.76, and I'm going to put another one. I like the top of this candle here at 37.40. So I think that may be significant if it gets there. So we'll see. If it bursts out higher than $37, I'd be surprised. But in case it does, I'm going to put one up here at 40. You can tell that this was a level that it supported both in this consolidation and then where it sort of hit and then moved when it started this big move down. So, all right, so that's levels for JD. Now, OXY and RH are those two Berkshire Hathaway acquisitions. I still don't like them pre-market. I don't see a point in putting levels on them, frankly. I don't think they're going to move. I'm going to take them off my list, and if they come on to my scanners, only then will I worry about considering them.
And I'll just throw in one note there on RH. You just got to keep in mind, despite it's a $175 stock, but it's a low float with a very high short float of 37%. So it moves like crazy.
Good, thanks, Norm. So Roku always, always a good mover. So now that we're up above 150, the only time I think it was ever in this range, was really with these few days when it traded, and it just went gangbusters over a couple of days, and then had this big drop where it came down from what was, I believe, the all-time high here at 176, all the way down to sort of below 140, right, in the matter of 2 days, and then continued on its way. So I don't know if Roku has it in it to move up, but if it does, I definitely want to level up here at 157. Let's just see where this opened at 157.22, and this candle had a high of 157.22. So guys, that can't be a coincidence. Look at these two candles here, right? The high on this day was 157.22, and then what, 5 days later, it opened at exactly 157.22. So that's definitely a level I'm going to want to watch. And if it does get up here to the all-time high, I'll just make a note of it here at 176.55. That would be quite a day if it got up there, but as I can always say, stranger things have happened. All right, PRPL doesn't look any better now than it did earlier. I don't like it. I'm just taking it off my list, frankly. AIHS. That was a Synmio Technology. Was this I can't remember. Did they have positive drug trials? Is that what I remember? Really?
I think this is the one where I mentioned I don't research penny stuff.
Yeah, you did. But all right. Well, in case somebody's looking at it, look, guys. To me, there's a level right here, right at the bottom of this candle. It's at $1.11. Just even saying that gives me the shakes.
I was going to say something else, Peter.
Yeah.
Gives me the
yeah. There's a level up here, maybe, sort of, you can see it sort of hit this as a bottom, and then it peaked right here, right around $3. This low would have been at $3.08. This high is at $3.08. All right, so that seems like a reasonable level, so we'll put that in if anybody's watching it. This would be very risky to trade, I think, but we'll see. It may get the volume. Again, it's already up to 3.3 million shares traded, so it's certainly got the volume pre-market. But no, you're going to get people piling into it, and that could cause it to be very volatile. NVIDIA we talked about. It's at the top of this range. The previous day's highs and lows, you can see, look at how many times it's hit sort of this key level right here, right? Back on the 12th, back on the 7th, on the 5th, almost got there on the 4th. So, this is a consistent level that, again, pre-market, it sort of hit exactly to that level. So that's a key one that we'll keep an eye on. And then if it goes higher than that, let's go back to the last time it was higher than that. Potentially got a level. This is not really strong, guys, but I'll just put it in here because it's the high of this candle at, oh, look at this, exactly 222. So I'll put a level here at 222. But I said that's not really a huge level of strength. Yeah, NVIDIA, I don't see really any obvious levels. I mean, there's sort of one right up here at 248, but man, that would be a day if NVIDIA gets up to $248. Norm would be ecstatic if that happens. We'll see. All right, last but not least on my list, good old Grubhub. I already talked about this in terms of the gap fill. You can see my previous day highs and lows already have all these areas marked in this range. So the only thing I can do is sort of mark both the low of this period here, which is at 51.57. So let's make sure that my line is at 51.57. And then where it dropped off the cliff here is at 56.51. So I'm just going to put a level there at 56.51. so I can keep an eye on it. I think I've only ever traded it once, and it was, if I go back in time, it was one day when it had a big gap down, and I traded it. The rest of the time, I've just found it an awkward trade. You can see most days it actually doesn't move much, so we'll see. Maybe it'll have some good movement for us today. All right. Oh, somebody's saying I got my line at the wrong place. That's a good point. Thank you. See, look at that. I got people looking over my shoulder, helping me make sure I put things at the right levels. I got rid of my decimal point. There we go. Thank you. And if it ever gets to $5,157, I'll worry about that level that's sitting way up in infinity. Okay, so that's about it. Last time, guys, let me just check our friends on YouTube, see if there's anything else you guys are looking at that you've mentioned that I should take a peek at. If not, we've gotten a little more efficient. We've actually gotten through our list in proper timing today, so that's good. So for me today, guys, the things I'm primarily going to take keep an eye on will certainly be FTCH, AMAT, and NVIDIA. Being in the same sector, they may pull the whole sector up because they both had good news. Relatively, AMAT's news was a little better than NVIDIA's, but those will both be interesting. AMRN, I said, and JD I will watch, but both of those could either be good trading stocks or duds. And then Roku, which has just been a consistently good mover over the last few days. So those will be the ones that I will primarily be watching this morning at the open. And then as always, we have a full set of scanners we use through Trade Ideas. And those scanners really give us a great idea of what is moving, anything that's been halted and when it restarts, turbo break up and downs. It really gives us a lot of information. So if you're interested in having your own scanners, because you can customize these in any way you see fit, and our discount with Trade Ideas will give you sort of a trial, and you can try it out. If you just wanted to see them, then you can join a room and you get them for free. So you could take advantage of that. We have a lot of sort of added benefits for our members in our room. Not only those free scanners, but the Benzinga news feed, and now the live voice Squawk. And it's actually great. We've been this is the first week we've been using Squawk, and we're getting used to it as moderators because we have to sort of not be talking over them. But there's been some great sort of tips and heads up on some activity that a number of our members have taken advantage of, from Disney to some moves on stocks that just had some insider buys. Turn up.
Boeing was a big one.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's one of those we're getting used to. So what do you pay attention to and what don't you? Because, there's a lot that are just informational items. There's others that are extremely important. In fact, I was trading something completely unrelated when Squawk came on and mentioned updates on the China trade talks. And it gave me a heads up to watch my stock more closely. And sure enough, the market did one of these big dipsy doodles where it dropped down and 3 minutes later went right back up to the level it dropped from. So it's one of those that at least I understood what was happening. I didn't panic out of my position. So all that being said, we've had a fantastic week. I've actually enjoyed this week because I like it when things are moving and we get this trending periods of the market. So I hope to take advantage of it again today. To everybody out there, dipsy doodle, that's my word of the day. So people are calling me out on that. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the web. We'll leave the room open for just another minute, but otherwise we will be going into live trading soon. As we mentioned, Andrew is on the road this morning, so he's not going to be joining us, but we will have Brian, as we always do, live trading through the open, and Norm and myself, Eamon, we'll all be here, as well as I fully expect that Thor is going to be here with his usual fantastic trades as he takes them and manages to hold them all day, as usual. And yeah, guys, it should be a good morning. So take care. And on the web, hopefully you'll join us in the room. If not, have a great trading day and a fantastic weekend.
Take care, guys. Trade safe and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Norm. Take care, everyone.